Good evening, everybody. Let's go ahead and dive right in here. So we were waiting for the SPC latest outlook due at 9 p.m. It happened to come out at 9:15 or so. So we're going live now. Want to get their final thoughts on tonight's severe threat. And overall, there is no change yet again from the SPC. So we're going to go ahead and highlight this two different ways, okay? The way that we think and the way the SPC is thinking. All right. So this is one of those rare times we're going to hop off the SPC guidance, and we're going to show you guys why we think this. All right. So let's go ahead and start, though. We do have, according to the SPC, a level 3 out of 5 risk here for the Lake Michigan shoreline up toward Ludington, down toward Benton Harbor. In orange, that's going to be your highest risk. Damaging winds should be the only concern, but there is an advertised 2% tornado risk here in areas in dark green here through the southern UP and also western lower Michigan. Not really seeing that too much. It does remain a possibility, though. I'll dive into deeper that here pretty soon. I just want to mention that. But your main risk here is going to be damaging winds here up to 60 or 70 miles per hour, highest in that red area. And then again, your level 2 risk in yellow, and then that level 1 risk in darker brown, reddish color around it. So overall, no change here from the SPC. Not looking at too much in the way of a hail threat tonight. So keep that in mind as well. But this is a little bit of a difficult forecast, and that is in part because the models and current trends we're seeing suggest otherwise. So looking at the real-time radar here, looking at what we have out to our west, there's not much going on out there. This line in Wisconsin is pushing northeast into the UP, and below that, there's not really too much of anything happening with that. So our main concern is nothing's going to form as that crosses Lake Michigan, and also with Lake Michigan there with the cooler waters, that is going to likely prevent any type of development. And so our big question mark here is what storms? We're going to have something pop up, or which is possible. We're not going to rule that out. What I'm trying to say here is these storms right here that you see in Wisconsin are moving northeast toward the UP and perhaps northern lower. All right, so go ahead and jump in the model here to show you guys what we're seeing here. This is the current model showing us what the radar is supposed to look like, and that's going to push into the UP here roughly 10 p.m. So within the hour here, expect arrival here in the UP, and then notice how it goes across Lake Michigan here, maybe brushes parts of northwestern lower, but notice how the majority of the state to the south is basically clear. All right, so it's because of the model guidance here, and which is matching the current trends on radar, on live radar. We're just not overly concerned tonight for any type of risk developing in the majority of the lower peninsula. But if you are in the UP, that could still be the case here as we flip over back to our live radar here. Give me a second to take a look at the live radar. We're going to see this nasty squall line up in Wisconsin here, but if we animate this, it's moving northeast. So if this can hold together here, it'll likely cross Lake Michigan. And then as that crosses, we're likely going to see probably Traverse City north up through the UP area. All right. So that's going to be the main concern. But to the south of this line, there really isn't anything here. So we're going to watch for pop-ups because that's going to be likely what we're going to be watching as we head into the evening hours. If they do pop up, then the severe threat, of course, would increase. But overall, we're not seeing that on models. We're not seeing that in current trends. We're going to watch, though. We're going to stay on our toes. The SPC are experts, so they're obviously seeing something that we may not be seeing. But regardless, what we're seeing does not really concern us at this point. All right? Makes sense? I know it's a little bit confusing here. But the risk remains. If any storms can get going, they could be severe. We'll be covering it here at MSC as long as it takes. We got to stay up all night. We'll be doing that. So if you guys want to tune in and check in, you are more than welcome to. But that is your update. UP, be concerned here for damaging winds, perhaps some tornadoes up there as well. I wouldn't rule out that in northwestern lower Michigan as well, up there toward like Traverse City, Gaylord. That particular area could get the action as well, but anywhere south right now is just not looking as concerning. All right. And also, the further east you go with this, like toward Detroit, Flint, the thumb area, the lower your risk overall becomes, just because instability is not very high right now. So, I mean, as these, if anything does get going and push across the state, As it pushes further east, the threat is likely going to be pretty low with eastward progression. So overall, not really seeing too much of a risk tonight. But again, if storms can get up and going, it's a possibility. These squall lines that are currently in Wisconsin sometimes do overperform. And that's what the SPC is really kind of maybe banking on, or maybe just being precautionary with their outlook, just because they can and sometimes do surprise in terms of their intensity and longevity as well. So we'll watch that. Alpine, a good time to sleep? Yeah, for now, but I would say set an alarm for like maybe 2 or 3. You could have some nasty storms coming through, but I think they're going to remain off to your west over there in Alpena. All right. And yes, the chair is still squeaking if you guys can hear it in the background. I tried doing surgery on it, but was not successful. Again, looking at your SPC risk, the entire state remains in a risk. So the takeaway is if any storms can pop up, they could be severe. But it's not looking likely in the lower peninsula right now. If they do, we'll be here covering it. But as of right now, it's not looking too likely. UP, though, does have that concern, our concern here, as those storms from Wisconsin push up that way. Any other questions, guys? Again, your timing map on this, we'll go ahead and throw that up on the screen. Assuming storms can pop up and push through the state, this is going to be your approximate arrival time, guys. So take a screenshot of it now. But again, this is assuming we're going to have storms at all. Right now, we're just not seeing too much there. We can go ahead and dive back into radar here and show you guys exactly what we're seeing. But go ahead and take a screenshot of this to keep on hand just in case. Your risk does remain from the SPC, but again, we're not really seeing too much of concern. And that's because looking at the current radar trends, the southern flank of that line, pop out the radar here again. In fact, it's actually gone. I need to go back and that. There it is. Perfecto. So these storms are currently severe in Wisconsin, but the storm motion here is northeast. So what this is going to do is likely continue northeast. It's going to push. That's a little bit too conservative to the north. Let's go this way, up that way. So that storm motion doesn't bring these storms anywhere over here. We'd have to have something pop up to the south here by like Davenport, and in return push up this way. And right now, we're not really seeing that at all. So we're going to watch this close. But right now, we have to wait for anything to pop, and that does not look likely on models. And as we get into the night as well, the overall atmosphere looks to really, I guess, weaken. So I'd say at this point, again, the severe weather threat for the lower part of Michigan is quite low. But if we go up to the UP, this line is still cranking. In fact, it's almost to the UP here. So we have to start our coverage for the UP, Joel, here in the next couple of minutes. But this is going to be a concern here as it pushes up into that southern part of the UP. And then again, we're kind of watching that Traverse City area closely up there in northern lower as well. But the main risks should stay up here in the UP. But again, if anything does happen to go severe down here, we're going to be covering it. So we got you guys covered. That's just right now, not seeing that right now. What's up, Joel? Thank you for joining.
Hi.
Didn't plan to stay on here too much longer, so we have to probably go live here for the UP momentarily.
That's fine.
If these can turn more eastward, it could be a possibility, but I don't think that's going to happen. Overall shear vectors are to the northeast tonight, so I don't think this is going to turn eastward. I see you guys talking about the weekend outlook, and Saturday is a day to watch, although we're not really seeing too much anything right now, but I have seen some people comment about it. We'll watch it.
So far, it looks like it's going as modeled.
Yeah, it really has been. Looks like a new tornado warning here approaching the southern flank of the UP. So if you guys are up here in Iron River, Iron Mountain, anywhere here in the southern part of the UP, be on alert. We got some nasty storms coming through. Here, show you guys these. What do you think, Joel? Hop off here and prepare for live coverage of the UP here momentarily?
Yeah, probably.
All right, guys. We're going to hop off here, take a little bit of a break, and prepare for coverage in the UP in the next couple hours here. But again, if you're in the lower peninsula here, your threat is quite low tonight. We're going to have to rely on anything popping up down here further south, which right now does not appear to be the case. So we'll watch it, though. If anything does happen, we'll cover it. You guys are in a risk tonight, but it's just going to be a matter of if at this point. All right. We'll hop off here. And if you guys live in the UP, we're going to start our coverage probably with our first warning here as these push up. We're still about a county or so away, but we're getting close to the UP. So. All right. You guys have a safe night, and you'll probably see us on here momentarily.
See you, everyone.